Before you watch this video, please watch our induction video from the Induction Library Guide, which gives you an overall view of the library resources and support available to you. If you have never had instruction on literature searching, please do not skip to the more advanced literature search videos, as what you will learn there will build on the knowledge and skills you will acquire in this session. For more advanced searching techniques, watch our advanced videos on literature searching after this. Before we begin, let me tell you what we mean by literature searching. Literature searching is the process through which you try to find the most useful academic literature for a given topic in order to include it in your assignments, projects, or dissertations. Our learning outcomes for this session are enabling you to plan a simple literature search, locating the resources necessary to perform your search, performing the search using Discover to search for journal articles and the Library Catalogue to search for books, learning relevant searching techniques, and finally retrieving the search results, articles or books. During your time as a student, you will be given projects and assignments on specific topics to research and write about. To achieve the requirements of your assignments, you will be expected to find, read, evaluate, and communicate the research within the academic literature on the given topic. The main resources of literature will include books and journal articles, but other sources too, depending on the topic, such as raw research data, statistics, market reports, government publications, guidelines, trade publications, and so on. In this literature search session, we will concentrate on finding books and journal articles. Journals are periodical scholarly publications which contain articles on specific subjects written by academics, experts, or researchers and intended for an academic audience rather than for the general public. Because journals are published very often, for example monthly, bi-monthly, quarterly, and so on, they contain the most up-to-date research in any given academic field. Therefore, they are one of the most important sources of literature students and academics rely on. Books can take anything up to 2 years to be published from the time they are written, so they do not always contain the most up-to-date information. However, they are useful in giving you general information about a topic, and therefore will give you good grounding before you explore more specialized fields through journal articles. Before you start writing your assignment, you will need to read the literature available on that topic, as you will be required to support any point of view you present with evidence from the academic literature. The better the quality of the literature you find, the better the quality of your arguments and work. The process of including literature in your assignments involves a number of steps. First of all, you need to define your topic. Once you are clear about the topic, you will need to plan your literature search, and this is where the library sessions with your liaison librarians and this video can help you, as well as in your next step, which involves performing the literature search and retrieving the results. After this, you should read the literature and evaluate, organize, and present it within your assignments. For help with the last 3 steps and to learn more about how to plan an essay or other types of assignments, go to the Effective Learning Services page, where you will find plenty of resources to support you in planning your work. Sometimes you will be given a well-defined topic for your assignments. If you have doubts on your understanding of a predefined essay question or topic, speak to your lecturer to ensure you get this right. Other times, you may be required to choose your own topic. You will need to make sure your topic is very clearly defined so that readers know what to expect and so that they can understand exactly what your assignment intends to achieve, but also to help you clarify in your own mind what you are trying to do and plan your search accordingly. Let's assume you have been given the following predefined topic and you understand what is required. What are the effects of deforestation on climate change? You may be tempted to search for this question as it is, in other words, copy and paste it into a search box, and you may find some results, but probably not so many, especially once you apply certain limits. As you can see, we have only found 16 journal articles for this search. Before you think about where to search, it is really important that you plan your search strategy. This can be done with pen and paper. The best way to proceed is to apply a strategic approach to your search. In other words, develop a search strategy as laid out in this video. To plan your search, after defining the topic, break it down into main ideas or concepts around which you will build lists of keywords or key phrases to use in your search. There are two main concepts within this topic: deforestation and climate change. Ignore words such as what, are, effects, as these are not ideas necessary in our search as such. For each concept, write down a list of all the keywords and phrases you can think of to use in your search. Think about synonyms or similar terms, wider and narrow terms that are related to each concept, plurals, variations in spelling, for example, the use of hyphens or British versus American spelling, narrow and wider terms, and list them all for each concept. For the first concept, climate change, our list will include climate change, global warming, carbon dioxide, because we know that carbon dioxide is a gas that contributes to climate change, and forests play a huge role in keeping it down. And we will also include its chemical formula, CO2. For the second concept, notice that the word deforestation stems from deforest, so include it in your list as well as any other terms that stem from it, such as deforests, deforesting, deforested, deforestation. Add synonyms and related terms like logging, slash and burn, which is the same as fire fallow cultivation, and it means cutting down the natural vegetation and burning it to use the land for cultivation. If your first language is not English, or if you struggle to think of any synonyms for keywords, go to Google and search for the term itself plus the word synonym. For example, deforestation synonym. This should direct you to online dictionaries and thesauri, which will give you a helping hand, but make sure you only pick what is relevant, as sometimes the terms suggested will only be relevant in certain contexts, so if you're not sure of the meanings of terms, look them up in reputable online dictionaries, such as the Cambridge Dictionary or the Merriam-Webster for American terms. If you still struggle to find enough synonym terms, it may be because you don't yet know enough about a topic to know specialized terms, in which case read around the subject in our and print books on the topic, or use the very short introduction book series. The library has over 1,000 titles in this series. Search the Library Catalogue for very short introduction plus the subject you are interested in, i.e. climate change or deforestation. You might not find a title that includes exactly the term deforestation, but you may find something very similar which will probably deal with the subject. Or you could just search for deforestation. And as you can see, there are over 160 titles that contain this word. Here are some tips you can use in most QMU databases, including Discover, which is what we said we would use in this session. Use truncation, represented by the asterisk symbol, to search for all words which have the same root. For example, typing in deforest followed by the asterisk will search for deforest, deforests, deforested, deforesting, and deforestation. This will save you time and will search all word endings without missing any. Use double quotation marks to retrieve search results containing the exact phrase climate change. Otherwise, climate change without double quotation marks, will search for climate and change, both as a phrase as well as separately, like in this example, where the search has retrieved them both as a phrase as well as change or changes in one sentence and climate in another. Use the Boolean operators or, and not to combine the terms you use in your search. Or is used to include any of the keywords you have listed within one concept. For example, use climate change or global warming or carbon dioxide or CO2 to search one concept using all of its synonyms. The more terms you include with or, the more comprehensive your search will be, and you will get more results. You don't need to worry about capitalizing your search terms, however do capitalize the Boolean operators or, and not. And combines two or more different concepts together, as in this example, deforestation and climate change. This will retrieve fewer but more relevant, focused results, which will contain both or all of the terms in the same article. Not can also be used. Exercise huge caution with this, because searching for deforestation, not slash and burn, will exclude articles which still contain the term deforestation, so you may exclude relevant literature. Here is a graphic representation of what not does. If you search for deforestation, not slash and burn, it means all articles containing the term deforestation and slash and burn are taken out of your list of results. Use or to search one concept with all its synonyms. These terms are all part of the same concept. Or widens your search. The more terms you use with or, the more articles you retrieve. Two different concepts combined with and will narrow down your search to these results here, which contain both search terms, climate change and deforestation. Be careful though, as the more different concepts you combine with and, the fewer the results you retrieve. Therefore, it is a good idea to prioritize the two most important concepts first, and, depending on the results you retrieve, rethink your search strategy if necessary. As you see here, I have added Amazon to narrow my results to effects of deforestation in the Amazon on climate change. Adding Amazon as a third different concept has resulted in far fewer results than in the example without it. You may now be wondering, how do I include both concepts in our example as well as the list of synonyms in my search? The way to do that is by searching one concept with its synonyms at a time, and then combining the two sets of results from each of these searches with the Boolean and. The design of most databases enable you to do this. This means that you will retrieve results which contain any combination of these terms with any of these terms, which is what you want to achieve to make sure you retrieve everything that's relevant. Your final search would look like this. Note the use of truncation and phrase searches where needed. The second step I mentioned at the beginning of this session is performing the search and retrieving the results, which involves deciding what resources to use first. You should choose your resources by looking up the description for each database to see if it is suitable for the topic you are researching. To do this, go to the QMU Library Guides and find your subject guide. Select the Databases tab and read the description for each database to see if the topic you are researching is likely to be covered by it. You can then select the database you need to perform the search and retrieve the results. Individual databases will give you greater choice in refining your search results, as well as more ways to search than discover, and we will learn more about them in a more advanced literature search video. For the purposes of this session, however, we will use Discover to find journal articles and the Library Catalogue to find books. Before we do so, here is a table showing you what you can find where for your reference. Now let's go to Discover. Our search engine Discover is a good starting point to search for articles, as it searches a large proportion of our databases, but not all. You will need to go to the individual database for each subject. Please consult your liaison librarian about this. The best way to search any topic is to search each of the concepts separately. So let's start with our first concept, which is deforestation. Remember, we can use truncation to save us typing all the words stemming from deforest. Apply a similar technique to any other suitable terms. However, bear in mind that some word roots go back further than others, so you may have to drop more letters and go back further than in our example for deforest. In the second box, you have a choice of Boolean operators. As we are searching for similar terms within the same concept, we need to use the operator OR from the drop-down menu. This will enable us to retrieve articles containing any of the synonym terms we input here for deforestation. The more synonyms or similar terms you use with OR, the more comprehensive your search will be, and the number of results you will retrieve will increase. Let's type in the second key phrase, slash and burn. I've put this in quotation marks, which will search for the exact phrase as it is. Remember, if we don't use quotation marks, the database will retrieve any articles that contain both the word slash and the word burn, both together as a phrase as well as separately in different sentences. Quotation marks are used to search for the phrase as it is if this is what you want to search for. Otherwise, you do not need to use them. Continue to list all the search terms for the key concept using the Boolean operator OR. Add more search boxes by clicking the plus sign on the right-hand side here if you need to. In the Select a Field box, you can choose where you want to search for these terms. If you leave it as it is, it will search in the following fields: authors, subjects, keywords, title information, including journal title, and abstracts, which are summaries of the article. Subject terms are terms assigned to articles to describe the content found within the article, and choosing these as search fields can be an excellent way of focusing your search on the subjects. However, you have to bear in mind that not all keywords used will find subject terms, because subject terms are what we call controlled vocabulary, and there aren't always subjects for every single keyword we use. You might decide you want to search in the full text of the article. If so, you will retrieve all articles containing any of these terms. However, some of them will be just mentioned in the articles rather than being a subject in them. You could try the abstract, which is slightly wider than the title field, but narrower than the full text. This could be a good way to start when we don't know how much literature there is out there on a topic. And depending on what you find, you can change your search strategy to narrow or widen it. A search in the abstract will retrieve fewer articles than a search in full text, but the results will be more focused. If we choose to search the titles only, we would narrow our search even further, and the articles would be even more relevant to the topic because we are searching for these words in the titles of the articles only. However, we may narrow down the search too much. Let's start by limiting our search within the abstracts and see what we retrieve. Don't forget to select where to search, abstracts in our case, for each and every search term within our concept. You can always go back and change your search to title if you find you retrieve too many articles. Now click Search, and a list of results that contain any of the search terms we used in their abstracts will be displayed. You'll notice that there are quite a lot of results here. However, we haven't finished our search yet, so leave these search results there for the moment. To remind you, we want to search each concept separately, and the reason for this will become clear shortly. Now let's search for the second concept with its synonym in the same way. We have the terms climate change, or global warming, or carbon dioxide, or CO2. Again, use quotation marks for phrase searches, if this is what you want, and type any chemical formulas as a string. Make sure to select OR as the Boolean operator, and select the field where you want the search terms to be found. We'll choose abstracts again. However, feel free to choose a narrower field like title if you get too many results. Click Search. You will see a list of articles that contain any terms you have used to search for your second concept. So far, we have used the OR operator to combine synonyms or similar search terms used within one concept or idea, and we have searched for each of the two concepts separately. To retrieve articles that contain both the first concept of deforestation and the second one of climate change, we need to combine the two concepts or ideas together by using the AND Boolean operator. The reason why we searched each idea separately was in order to be able to include any words for those ideas in the final search. So now all we have to do is combine the two sets of results we have retrieved for each concept by using the Boolean operator AND. So tick the boxes next to set 1 and set 2, and then click Search with AND. This will now retrieve only articles containing both of these concepts and will discard articles that contain only one of these concepts. The beauty of this is that we now have articles which contain any of the words we used in our search for the first concept, combined with any of the words in our second concept search. We started off with a big number of results for each concept, but we have now narrowed down our results significantly. The default limits in Discover are set to search only articles we have full text access to or are available somewhere else in the library collection. Most of the times you will be required to look at recent research, which in universities is usually considered to be the latest 10 years. So you may wish to apply the relevant time limits here using the publication date slide bar. It is also a good idea to look at peer-reviewed articles, which means articles that have been reviewed by other academics or specialists in the field to ensure a minimum level of research quality standards are met before their publication. This, however, does not guarantee quality, as the peer review process is not infallible, and you will have to do your own critical appraisal or evaluation of the articles you find. Applying limits reduces our search results further. To limit your search to academic journals only, click Academic Journals. However, feel free to use any of the limits in What Have I Found that might also be relevant to your topic. You can apply many other limits here, so take some time to explore what is available. The only limits I do not recommend using are language and geography, because not all article records are assigned these fields, therefore you may exclude a lot of relevant results. What have I searched shows the databases or collections where these results come from, which can help you figure out what the best databases to search might be for this topic. Now, we do still have an awful lot of results, but remember we are searching a number of databases through Discover, not just one. Because I had far too many results, I went back and redid my search for each of the concepts. Only this time I searched in the title fields. I then combined them together with AND, just as before, and I have now started applying the limits I wanted to apply. I'm now searching academic journals only. These articles also look a lot more relevant than some of the ones I had in my list previously. Now let's choose an article and look at the full text by following the relevant links. You can click on the title to read the abstract and decide if the article is relevant for you. This is the place where you will find all the reference data you need should you use this article in your work, in which case you will need the author's names, year of publication, the title of the article, the journal title, which in Discover is called source, and the volume and issue number if there is an issue, as well as the page numbers. If the article is what you need, follow the full text link or the PDF links available to read the article online or download or print it. You can do this either from this screen or from the previous screen here. As mentioned, we may not always have full text access to all of the articles you retrieve. However, you should find enough literature to cover your needs. If you do not find any full text links, make note of the reference details I mentioned earlier and look for the journal title in which the article is published in our eJournals A to Z database. This is the journal title, and this is the year in which this article is published, in volume 114, page 362. Go to the library website and library resources. Click on eJournals A to Z. Type in the journal title. Now check the available links below. Sometimes we have 2 or 3 links to journals with different start and end dates, so pick the relevant one for your article. Some links go to the publisher website and some go to databases where some journal articles are held. In our case, there is only one link. It is now a matter of finding the correct volume number, issue number, year, and page to find your article. You can either follow the HTML version or download the PDF version of this article. For the example I picked, we already knew that we had full text access to the journal, but this is the process you'd need to follow if there was no full text link here. The vast majority of our journals are electronic. However, we still have a print journal archive which contains older articles. So if you do not find an article electronically, you should also check the print ones. You can search for print journals in the Library Catalogue. Click Print Journal Title. I am using an example of a journal title which I know we have in stock just to illustrate how you'd find it. This record will give you information on what years and volumes we have in stock. If there were any missing issues or volumes, the information would be here. Journals are filed in alphabetical order by journal title in the movable stacks to the right-hand side of the library entrance. As mentioned, Discover searches a large number of our databases in one go. As you become more knowledgeable in searching techniques, you should start to use the databases that are more relevant to your topic to show that you have the knowledge required to be selective in your choice of resources, and to ensure you do not search too many databases and get too many results which cannot be narrowed down to a reasonable number. In addition, specific databases have even further choices in terms of limits, search fields, and subject searching, which Discover does not offer. I have summarized the Discover search steps and tips I mentioned so far here for your reference. Let's now have a look at finding some books on the topic using the Library Catalogue. Firstly, let's clarify that library catalogues do not search full text. They only search several fields within the book records, such as the title field, author, contents list, descriptions, and other very limited fields. You can perform a default keyword search for the general and most important keyword or key phrase which describes your topic. In this case, we'll use deforest with an asterisk and climate change. This is likely to retrieve fewer results than Discover because of the narrow fields in which it searches and because there are fewer books overall than articles. Sometimes you may even have to choose only one concept like climate change or global warming. A more complex keyword search can be attempted in the Library Catalogue by going to Advanced Search. Type deforest followed by asterisk in the first search field. Leave the Any field box unchanged to the default keyword search. Type climate change or global warming in the second box and combine the two boxes with AND. Because you used two different boxes, the catalogue will search each concept separately and combine the two sets with AND. And this time we have slightly more results than our previous search. However, be aware that the catalogue will drop some of the terms if you input too many terms in your search. Our search query has been changed from combining the first concept with the second concept using AND to combining them using OR, which is not what we intended. Find the print books in the library by taking a note of the book title, author, and call number to find it on the library shelves. Find the full text ebooks by clicking on the book title and clicking on Connect to eBook. You may be prompted to input your username and password if you are working within the Horizon Remote Desktop. If you aren't, you may have to find your own way to the correct path to log into the resource. QMU uses the shibboleth authentication system, so find your way through that. Then find your institution, and you will be prompted to input your QMU credentials. You can either download each chapter or the whole book, or you can read it online, depending on each publisher. Here is a summary of the catalog search tips I mentioned for your reference. Here are the steps for including literature in your assignments, with the sub-steps I mentioned throughout this session, with a reminder that the library can help you with the first two steps, defining your research topic and planning the search, and performing the search and retrieving the results. If you need further help with academic writing, the ELS resources are there to help you. And here is a summary of what I have talked about in this video. We looked at how to plan a simple literature search, locate the resources, and how to perform a literature search using Discover and the Library Catalogue, and the range of searching techniques, and how to retrieve search results. I hope this video is useful for you, and don't forget to check out our more advanced literature search videos available from the library website.